Hello, my beautiful flowers. Dr. April here with another video helping you improve your mental health, your wellness, and your self-care. If you are a returning subscriber, hey girl, hey. If you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Dr. April, and I am here to talk to you today, girl, about how to meet new friends while traveling solo abroad, okay? So in this video, I'm giving you all of my tips, my tricks, my hacks, and what I did to build a global support network. And basically, if you stick around until the end of this video, I'm going to give you a major tip, sis, that's going to help you be ahead of the game when you touch down, okay? So stick around until the end of the video so you can get that special tip, okay? So without further delay, let's go. Did you know that 70 to 80% of solo travelers report making close friends on their travel journeys? Yes. Okay. So there is no reason that you should be alone and by yourself in a new place, right? So that's amazing. So before I get into the tips and the tricks and the strategies, y'all, let's just talk about some of the challenges, right, with traveling solo abroad. And, basically, a lot of times people can experience loneliness. Also, just being able to navigate the country, a new place by yourself. On top of that, navigating a different group of people, a different culture, all of that can be extremely challenging to navigate when you're traveling solo abroad, and especially if it's your first time traveling solo, right? So you want to make sure that you have the support and the network there before you get there so that, you can feel supported and that, ultimately your travel journeys will be well. And I'm going to give you some know before you go tips here, okay? So this is what you need to know before you go. The first thing that you want to do, sis, is that you want to join some Facebook groups, okay? Do not underestimate the power of Facebook. And basically, you want to join a Facebook group for the country that you are interested in visiting, okay? For example, if I were planning a trip to go to Mexico City, what I would do is I would go on Facebook and search for a group that says Black expats in Mexico City, okay? So once you search that, some groups are gonna pop up. Go ahead and ask to join the group, all right? So once you get in the Facebook group, you are basically going to introduce yourself and you're going to say, hey y'all, I'll be visiting Mexico City from this date to this date. I'd love to connect and meet some new people in the area. DM me if you're going to be there while I'm there, or DM me if you're going to be in the area during my travel dates or whatnot. And so what's going to happen is that you're more than likely are going to get some sisters to reach out to you. They may send you a DM or they may put their contact information in the comment section, okay? So that's one of the things that you want to do before you go. So join those Facebook groups. Another thing you can do once you join the Facebook groups is that you can ask them, you can say, hey y'all, I'm gonna be coming to Mexico City during these dates. And basically, if you know of any WhatsApp groups, can you add me to the WhatsApp group? And so basically, a lot of times the expats that are either living or traveling or scouting in those areas have different WhatsApp groups so that you can kind of know what's going on locally when you arrive. Now, in my experience, a lot of the WhatsApp groups are very sacred and protected. So if you basically are not there, if you're not already there, it's unlikely they're going to add you to the group, if that makes sense, right? Because then they don't want a whole bunch of people in their groups that live in the States or don't live there, right? So I actually have a hack to that though. That's the major tip that I'm going to share at the end. So I want you to stick around so I can tell you how you can kind of get around that, okay? So basically, those are two things you're going to do before you go. You're going to join the Facebook group and you're going to introduce yourself. You're going to tell folks when you're coming and basically put it out there that you essentially want to connect with people who are in the area. And then also you want to ask just to see if they can add you to the WhatsApp groups. Okay. So that's what you're going to do. All right. So next what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to talk about some strategies for meeting new people when you are traveling solo abroad. Okay. So these are some strategies to help you meet new people. So the first thing that's really important, as I kind of mentioned before, when you get there, make sure you join the WhatsApp groups, okay? So I know you're like, well, Dr. April, what if I don't know anybody yet? Okay, so this is why it's going to be important for you to be out and about, right? It's the connections that you build with people abroad, and those relationships are real, okay? It's not like here in the States where you can walk by a brother and sister and y'all don't speak. In a foreign country, when you see somebody that looks like you, everybody's excited. We hugging, hey girl, hey, oh my gosh, where you from? Like immediately the windows and the floodgates are just gonna open for you, okay? So don't worry about that. You are going to get in the WhatsApp groups, trust me. So just make that a priority. Asking, hey girl, what are some local WhatsApp groups, so I can find out local events and things going on, etc., etc. And they will add you to the groups. Like those people will add you. They'll send you the link, okay? So you kind of got to connect. That's going to add you to the WhatsApp group, okay? The second thing that you want to do, you want to make sure that you identify the event planner, so to speak, okay? I don't care what country you visit. If there is a community of Black expats there is going to be a local event planner, right? Or a host. This is the person that basically plans all of the local events for the Black expats that already live in the country, okay? So once you identify the planner, the event planner, you want to make sure that you follow them on social media, join whatever their event WhatsApp group is, etc., so that you can get all the information and all the tea whenever there's different events going on. Because more than likely, if that host or that event planner is hosting something, the experts are going to go. So that's going to be the opportunity for you to meet more new people. Okay. All right. Now, the next thing, all right, the third thing, you want to make sure that you are open to connections, okay? You have to be open to meeting new people. You have to be open to building new relationships with people. You just have to be open to having conversation, so if you're, closed off, and I'm not saying like, if you are more of a introvert, that's okay, but being open would look like at least you making an effort to go to an event if someone invites you out, things like that, right? So you need to be open to connections. The connections you build abroad are real, okay? And you don't realize that a lot of times you're going to meet people who are very similar to you, who have similar journeys, who have similar interests, So that's very important. I'll give you an example. I was going to say, for example, when I went to Costa Rica, oh my gosh, I thought it was so odd, but I met so many beautiful Black women who also ate a plant-forward or primarily plant-based diet, right? And I said, wow, I wonder if there's a correlation between traveling abroad or being a Black nomad or digital nomad, like resistance to like kind of eating meat, and some of them did eat fish and things like that. But, I noticed that there was this likelihood that if you were traveling solo, you were very intentional about your diet and what you ate. I thought that was very interesting. So I wasn't the only vegan I met on my journeys. There was just something for us to bond over and connect with when I was meeting other women. So I think that's a really, a cool example of like while you're traveling, being able to meet people who have similar interests, similar journeys, similar diets, right? So it's just getting out and talking to people so that you can, kind of make those connections. So I just want to say that really quick. The fourth thing that's important is that you want to make sure that you're open to shared experiences, right? So going to the local events, a lot of times the bars and the restaurants will have different events. Perhaps there's line dancing night. I went line dancing when I was in Playa del Carmen. And then, going to a local sound, but just whatever it is, whatever those normal activities are, whether it's a yoga class on the beach, whatever, you want to make sure that you're open to going to these different events, these local events, because that is also where you're going to meet people, okay? You can't meet people if you are sitting in the houses. How you gonna meet people if you in the house, right? And so, basically you want to get out and you want to attend different events. That's important. And moving on. So far, if you are liking what I'm talking about in this video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for sticking around to this point. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out when I post a new video here just about every week. And let me focus. Okay, so the fifth thing that you're going to do that's going to help you meet new people while you are traveling abroad solo, you want to make sure that you learn the basics of the language for the country that you are visiting, okay? This is going to help you not only connect with the locals, but really just break the ice, right? I am telling you, no matter where you go, the local people usually love to talk to you. They love that you try to get to know their culture and understand them. And they love to hear, us speak their language. For example, I shared in previous videos, I do speak a little bit of Spanish. So, every time I'm in, whether I'm in the Dominican Republic or Mexico or Costa Rica and, planning to go visit Colombia, I'm going to make sure that I speak the language, and it's not to say that it has to be perfect or that you need to know every single word or you need to be super proficient. But even if you just know how to say hello, for example, in Mexico, it's common for, hello, you would basically a lot of times just say hola, right? But I found, you would say hola or you would say buenos dias, which is good morning, typically when you would meet someone. But I noticed that in Costa Rica, they didn't use hola a lot. Typically, their good morning was buenas. So buenas is just like good morning, hello, how you doing, good morning, the whole nine, right? So just recognizing that even though you're in two countries, I visited two countries that speak Spanish, some of the cultural, some of the language or the choice of words that they use might be a little different, right? Also, another thing I would say that was common in Costa Rica, I heard buen dia a lot, which is basically good day. So you could say buenas or buen dia, that's okay. And that's a formal, basically a greeting. So that's something to keep in mind, right? And I would only know that if I essentially was, being intentional about talking to the local people. And so I noticed those cultural differences. Yeah. Another thing, never underestimate. So this is the sixth thing that you're going to do to meet new people when you're traveling abroad. Okay. Never underestimate the power of social media. Okay. You want to make sure that you are in those Facebook groups. You want to make sure that you are following certain groups or, like I mentioned earlier, the event planner, the host in that area, follow them on social media. Social media is going to be very critical for you to meet new people and build those connections, okay? It is literally something that's it's very important. Social media is the perfect place where you can find events, you can find different information on, any cultural activities that they have coming up. Like, for example, when I went to Costa Rica back in August, I had no idea that it was their Afro-Caribbean Heritage Month, or basically similar to our Black History Month in February. But August was their cultural, their celebration. And I'll never forget, I went to one of their local, parades, and basically the women, all shades, all colors, folks had on, they had their hair braided, they had the blue braids, and just looking, they were just so beautiful, and I'll probably put a little bit of footage in here so y'all can see. Basically, I found out about the event on social media. I ended up joining, I think, a group where there were some events about some different activities that were going on, and I saw it and I was like, ooh, I'm going to go to this, and it was an amazing experience, very rich cultural experience. I got to try some of the local, a lot of their Afro-Caribbean cuisine while I was there as well. It was delicious. And, so social media will tell you what's going on. So if you're not on social media, at least get on there. So, when you're traveling abroad, you can know what's going on. So that's important, y'all. And I also want to go back and just say, when I talked about earlier how the connections abroad are real, they are real. When I say that, when you see someone that looks like you and y'all are both in a foreign country together, y'all are going to be so excited because you are not alone in this. Okay. And, I remember in Costa Rica, we called it a black girl walk up. All right. And that was actually what was happening to me in Mexico. I would just see some sisters on the street and we'd be like, hey girl, hey. And we'd just be screaming and hugging and where you from? Oh my God. Da, da, da. And it's just like that. It is so like that. I can't make this up. Okay. In Costa Rica, especially, let me see, in Mexico, I did spend a lot of time with some of my friends that I made while I was there. But oh my gosh, in Costa Rica, I went on so many dinner dates with sisters. I was so tired. My mouth was like, listen. I was ready to go back into my little shell and hide out for a minute, because that's how many connections, how many dates I went on. Like, we had a good time. And everybody's story is different. Everybody's experience is different. Everybody's journey is different. But it's usually one thing that is going to connect you with that person, which is pretty cool. And moving on. Before I give you that major tip that I told you about coming up here next, I want to share an experience with you that just reiterates the importance of you having community and support. Okay. So when I was in Mexico, y'all don't laugh at me, okay? But I was in Mexico. I already knew you could not drink the water, right? So knew I couldn't drink the water. But I didn't realize that you couldn't cook with the water. And so I'm sitting up here cooking with the water, and I noticed my stomach had been kind of tore up for days. So I was like, maybe I'm just having, some traveler's stomach issues. It'll resolve itself. And I just remember I had ate something, and my stomach was just like, no, ma'am, we can't take it. I don't know what you thought this was. And I had such excruciating pain. I was like, man, something is wrong here. Like, it finally said to me, like, something is wrong here. And so basically what I did was I reached out to a sister that I had met at I met her at an event that one of the event planners or hosts of the area was having. And we just basically hit it off like we soul sisters. And I hit her up. I said, sis, something going on with me. Girl, my stomach hurts so bad. She was like, oh my gosh. So she was like, do you think you need to see a doctor? I said, I think I need to see a doctor, but I don't know how I don't know where I'm going to go. I don't know how I'm going to get there. Anyway, she was like, well, hold on, sis. Let me reach out to another sister and see if she can give me the doctor's number that she typically uses. Y'all, I cannot make this up. Me and her talked on the phone for a second. I say within 5 minutes or so, the doctor ended up messaging me on WhatsApp. I was like, oh my God, that was so quick. He was like, hey, are you all right? He was like, I can get to you in like 10 minutes. And I'm like, whoa, I don't have to come to you. You gonna come to me? He was like, yeah, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Y'all, I'm not kidding you. If I have a picture, I'm gonna make sure I drop it in here. This man came with the blood pressure cuff, checked my vitals, listened to my stomach, everything. And basically he said, oh my gosh, April, no, you cannot cook with the water here. And I said, oh my gosh, I didn't know why. He said it has too many minerals in it. It's very hard and very sensitive on the intestinal tract. So basically you cannot cook with the water. And I had noticed that the water had like some, I don't know, almost like some little mineral like particles, but I just was like, oh, you know how you just ignore stuff? I'm like, oh, it'll boil out. It'll be fine. And it was not fine. So that's a tip for you. Do not cook with the water. Also, I'm going to give you a tip. If you go to like one of the, I want to say it's like a 7-Eleven, but anyway, any of the little small, like, I guess you could say local markets, or like like our equivalent to a gas station, but they don't have to have gas, but just like I don't even know, I guess like a little food mart. If you just walk into it doesn't have to be a grocery store. But either way, if you buy the real big, huge tub, okay, like of water, like the big one, like you gonna need some help carrying it because it's like very heavy. Basically, you can actually save money on recycling if you use that water and then you bring it back empty. You'll get a discount or like half off on the next jug that you buy. Okay, so remember that. Keep your jug so that you can save money when you have to buy another jug. Okay, so yes, you do need to use purified water for cooking and drinking in Mexico. All right. Don't be like me. But anyway, I say that to say, y'all, if I hadn't, had that support and had built that network while I was there and got out and was intentional about meeting people, I would have been out there in Mexico just laid out by myself. Right. So that's an example of just how a sister came to to support me, to help me. And she was always there for me, anything that I needed. So yeah, that is exactly why I say that it is important for you to be intentional about meeting new people. Okay. All right. So since you stuck around this far in the video, I'm going to go ahead and share with you my major tip. You are going to be ahead of the game. You are going to be in the WhatsApp groups before you get there, sis. You're going to know what's going on before you get there. You're going to form some new connections before you get there. All of this by just doing this simple thing that I'm getting ready to tell you. Okay. So remember earlier I told you that a lot of the WhatsApp groups are very sacred, very protected. If you are not in the area, okay, or you don't know somebody, you're not going to be added more than likely to the WhatsApp groups, okay? So to get around that, here's what you're gonna do, sis, okay? I want you to research and find a local expat, okay, on social media. Whether that's social media, usually YouTube was my go-to, okay? YouTube is where I found these women. And basically, you want to find someone who either lives or lived in the country for some time that you are interested in visiting. And basically what you want to do is you want to have a consultation with that person, okay? And you probably like, a consultation, what? Like, yes, they offer consultations to give you information. And basically, like, I haven't visited Colombia yet, right? But because I was intentional about having a consultation with a local expat that was there, I got all the tea. I know what's going on. I know where to stay, where not to stay. Remember, I haven't even been to Colombia yet. I haven't even visited yet, but I'm in all the WhatsApp groups. I know what's going on. I see what they're doing. There's a vegan group over there in Colombia, in Medellin. So I'm in all of their groups because I basically had a consultation and the sister gave me all of the information. So, you know, basically having those consultations and seeking out those sisters who lived in those areas will get you ahead of the game. So I'm in all the groups because of her. Also, before I went to Playa del Carmen, I also did a consultation with one of my sisters who lived there for about 3 years. She's actually a sorority sister. And basically, I met with sis. I was like, girl, I'm thinking about going here. Again, told me where to stay, where not to stay, gave me all the information. I had to hook up for the person that do the eyebrows. I had the number for the person that do the nails. Like, I had everything. Like, I had a whole spreadsheet. I have a whole spreadsheet of like what to do, where to go, what are some good places, you know, to go and, for example, do some co-working, and things like that. So, you know, basically that is the hack. That is the trick. Find somebody who's been there and then basically have a brief consultation with them, like have a consultation. A lot of times it is going to cost you something, but to me, for the amount of information I received, it is so worth the money. And basically, yeah, before I got the Playa del Carmen, I was in all the WhatsApp groups because I had paid for the information. So I had the links. I knew where to go in. I knew where to go ask questions, you know. So that is how you can get ahead of the game. So yeah, so basically if you need some support with any of these things I'm telling you about, I'm available to help you. Just reach out to me. But yeah, that is what you're going to do. So in summary, it is important that you are intentional about meeting new people abroad, that you are intentional about building those new relationships and open to connections and things like that. Because the last thing you want to do is get to another country and be bored or be afraid to go out by yourself, or, you know, and also just basically, you know, you don't want to end up being like lonely. And that's one of the main reasons people go back home and they say, oh, I can't do this, because they are lonely. They don't have any friends. They don't know anybody. Okay. So I don't want that to be you, sis. Okay. At the end of the day, it's important that you get out of your comfort zone. If you weren't interested in getting out of your comfort zone, you wouldn't even be traveling abroad, sis. Okay. So just keep that in mind. This is out of your comfort zone. So you might as well just put yourself out there. What's the worst that can happen? Okay. And what I want you to do, if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also, if you have some of your own solo travel experiences, drop them in the comments. If there is something that you did to build that support abroad or to get connected with new people that helped you that I didn't mention here in this video, yeah, share it with us. You never know how it might help another sister, okay? And also, before we get ready to go, y'all, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you are not following me on social media, I am at The Wellness Room ATL on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Oh, I am not on Twitter. Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube. So make sure that you give me a follow as well. Also, don't forget, I try to show up here every single week to support you guys, okay? If there is anything that you want me to make videos about or to talk about on this channel, I'd love to get your feedback. Please let me know in the comment section. And then also, support the channel, sis. Okay, support the channel. And don't forget, I always have links in the description box and tons of resources for you, okay? So please support the channel so that I continue showing up here to provide you with amazing content. I really appreciate you. And even if you're unable to support the channel the way you would like, you have no idea that You being here and you tuning in every single week means the world to me. Make sure that you share our channel with a friend. And before you go, sis, let me leave you with this. Remember that you are a beautiful flower that blooms and flourishes. May your radiant light continue to nurture those around you. And thank you so much for bringing beauty to our community, one petal at a time. Mwah. Bye. Take care of yourself.